A former Tesla security employee named Carl Hansen has filed a whistleblower suit. He's the second ex-Tesla employee to come forward. Joining us now is his attorney, Stuart Meissner, who is with us this morning in New York. Number one, what is it that you are alleging Tesla did to your two clients?
Well, Stuart, basically, Mr. Tripp was the first one that involved a situation where he was reporting to the press on his own issues that he saw inside the Gigafactory. And as a result of that, to make a long story short, he was fired. In my view, he was tarred and feathered. Police were called on him.
He was working in the factory, the Gigafactory. That's the battery plant, right? He's working there. He sees stuff going on that he doesn't like, either he doesn't like or it goes unreported. He contacts the media. Tesla finds out that he's done that, and they fire the guy.
Pretty much, and that's when, after that, they filed a federal lawsuit against him, and they called the sheriff in what I believe to be a false report of a, quote, terrorist incident, saying that he was going his way to shoot up the Gigafactory, which was, in my view, based on the police reports, which we've gotten, was completely false, and we're looking to have that investigated and pursued.
Okay,
so that's the first client.
Okay, and then Mr. Hansen is the second client.
Right.
Is it somewhat similar?
Well, same Gigafactory. Mr. Hansen was working for security inside investigations for Tesla, so he knows a lot of things about Tesla. And he brought up several issues, namely, one, a $37 million theft of materials that he was told to investigate. He did. He was following up on it. Then he was told to stop investigating, don't report it to the sheriff or the law enforcement, and to my knowledge wasn't reported to shareholders. He also was told about a potential sale of narcotics activities, large quantities of narcotics, cocaine, and possibly meth.
But the sale of these narcotics within the factory?
Within the factory. Tesla was given, or allegedly given, a tip by the DEA State Task Force of sales going on, major sales going on by a particular worker at the factory, and specific detailed information about those sales, and that they're working with a Mexican drug cartel and specific details about that cartel.
Okay, so those are pretty strong charges that your clients are laying on Tesla.
Yes.
Now, you're their lawyer. What are you demanding from Tesla in court?
Well, just to be clear, we didn't file any lawsuit, but I'm an SEC whistleblower attorney. Both have filed SEC whistleblower tips to inform the SEC of potential securities violations, which we believe have taken place.
The objective would be to make known what's really going on in that Gigafactory.
Yeah.
And what's going on with Tesla's finances as they relate to the SEC. You want to expose that.
Anything that is material information that a shareholder or potential shareholder would want to know. And they would want to know if there's significant drug sales going on in the factory. They want to know if there is wiretapping going on of their own employees, which is another allegation. They want to know if there's $37 million of theft. So all those things are very significant for the company and certainly for the CEO.
Look, Stuart, thank you very much for being with us on the show this morning. Thank you, sir. Now, I do want to read you a statement which we've received from Tesla. Here we go, in full. Mr. Hansen's allegations were taken very seriously when he brought them forward. Some of his claims are outright false. Others could not be corroborated. So we suggested additional investigative steps to try and validate the information he had received secondhand from a single anonymous source. Because we wanted to be sure we got this right, we made numerous attempts to engage further with Mr. Hansen to understand more about what he was claiming and the work that he did in reaching his conclusions. He rejected each of those attempts and to date has refused to speak with the company further. That was their statement. It helped bring the stock back just a little. We were down about $15, $16, $17. Now Tesla stock is down about 10. Okay, came back a little.